Please have an open mind. Things said by people discussing things their minds have closed off from reasonable skepticism. So I got to this thought while I was watching this video. It's by one of the online skeptics, normally goes into majority things with religion, but it's majority things with theology, specifically Christianity. This person is based in the West, so that is something they are more familiar with, so that's some of the more typical content. And this is part of why I do think the West is the best, is that you have the ability to discuss some of these topics. But the person in particular goes and talks about Islam and flat earth and other things. And in this specific video, I think it was Logic, if I'm not mistaken, they were talking about this this one female who has this theory about aliens hiding in birds. And she was going on about stopping it, and then she put these filters and invert the images and be like, look, in this bird you can see the head poking out, and then she points at the same bird a few frames later and says, look, you can see the actual shape of the spaceship. And this was not by zooming in or anything, and the face she talked about before was pretty much the same size as the shape she was now saying was the spaceship. And I mean, when you have this, and as she was discussing, she said that line. Now, before I get to this part, please have an open mind. And that's when this thought kind of came to me. It's like, please have an open mind. Okay. I mean, I'm still watching the video. I don't think I made it through, because right now I'm just getting to the position where I'm also thinking, am I spending too much time making this content? Who am I discussing to? What am I having with? I definitely appreciate you taking your time to do this, and I've had some communication, but I'm trying to be better at what I'm doing, so I'm not wasting your time or my time. I've gone into situations where part of why I can make this content, part of I think why I can condense some of these thoughts and expand and keep creating this content, is because I've spent years and years of just discussing to people and having conversations, trying to communicate, trying to understand, trying to empathize, opening up my mind, have you, just being steeped in this Western tradition of discussion and conversation and speech and things like this, which I consider to be very positive. I think it's, but then I don't know, reasonable skepticism. Where is it? Where is the point where I should still watch this video? Should I entertain this? What is going on in this situation? What about her presentation? What should I open my mind to? What's the thing there? And in many cases I realize people who say this, oh, you don't have an open mind. You don't have an open mind to God. You've closed your heart out from God. And this is a religious thing. It's not just a theology. Theologies, traditional theologies, the three most popular Abrahamic religions in the world of Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and then you go to Hinduism, you go to Buddhism, which is a religion but not a theology because there's no gods. But you look at these things, you look at paganism, you look at animism, you look at all these things, the actual theologies that we discuss and the religions that we discuss that we normally think of as religions, those are things where people are like, oh, those are not skeptic people. These people are not open to skepticism. But this goes across the board. It goes into aliens, it goes into flat earth, it goes into all of these things. And what is reasonable? What are the certain things? And these things, talk about this again later, because I'm building up this. I think I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to realize something. I think I'm going to have some another formative thing in the way I filter the things that come into my world, or the way I see my reality tunnel and navigate it. But they don't end. They just get to a point where it's unreasonable. Zeus did not die. Hera did not die. Hades did not stop burning, or was it ever burning, or was it normally cold in Hades? But Olympus did not crumble. Olympus is as real today as it was the first time somebody thought of the concept. It's as real today as when it was the dominant religion and belief of one of the most dominant civilizations at that time. But time kept going on where it was just unreasonable to even think it's a real thing anymore. So with some of these things, open your mind. When people normally say open your mind, think about what they're normally discussing. Are they actually being reasonable to things? Because I think in cases, and this is a good descriptor, with the Matt Dillon Hunt, he describes faith in this way, which I think I still am going to borrow from him. And it's in general, when I'm speaking about faith, this is kind of what I mean. It's the excuse people give when they don't have good reason. Because in many cases, if you actually have the good enough reasons for people to actually consider and believe what you're about to say, you just present those reasons. You don't say, please have an open mind. If you think somebody is closed off, yet you think they're closed off for unreasonable things, you just address why they're closed off. You try to identify and say, look, this is what you're saying, this isn't true. Let me address and disprove your actual doubts on that and here. And then their mind will just naturally open. I don't think you have to prod people, but when you do that, that's kind of saying like, oh, I am open-minded. I am the one who has access to all this information. If you would only drop the shackles of ignorance and open the blinders, open your eyes to the truth, and then the truth shall set you free. No, 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 no. Reality is reality, and the great thing about reality is it doesn't need to be defended. It's just presented. Reality exists whether we believe it or not. If you have it out there, you find enough evidence. If you just want to support it, just show it to me. Just show me. Just tell me. Let me know what's at. And this is one thing, this is just something I'm noticing. That's something that I've seen, and I'm trying to get to a position where I try to be as concise with my communication. And if you take your time to come listen to what I say, I appreciate that, as I mentioned. And I want to interact, I want to discuss, but when I'm talking about a particular thing, if it's not just a general open thing, and I see that there, for some reason we are not discussing, we can't agree on the basics of it, I think it might be better for both of us to take our time and discuss with other people who seem to be speaking the same language, if that makes any sense. So that's it for now. This is part of my Shorty series where I expand on short thoughts, that I condense these ideas and I expand on them in video form, and then I post them here in different places and hope to engage, and I appreciate you taking your time. There's links below to a merchandise store. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you think about this. Till next time, goodbye.